Hello students, the next prose lesson will be The Boy Who Sold Wisdom. Okay, so let's move on to the lesson. This will be a very interesting lesson. Just go through it and you can be able to understand what it has been given over here. Okay, so let's go and enjoy the lesson. Okay, so over here wisdom means nothing but the quality of having uh, good knowledge or being wise or being intelligent, they will say, right? So wisdom is means that. So Nagendra was orphaned and found himself without a job. Orphaned is a person who doesn't have parents. Okay, so he was clever and he had learned many things by observing his father. So he was clever. Okay, so he was wise and he learned many things from observing his father. One day he had an brilliant idea. So one day what he got, he had an brilliant, great idea. He went into town and hired the smallest and cheapest place he could find and set up a shop. So he went to a town and he saw a cheapest place, that means a less amount of rent to that place, and he made a shop at that place. So he spent a few nickel coins. Nickel is nothing but a silver white metal which is used to make the coins. Okay, so he spent few nickel coins and he had a paper, ink and a pen with him. Over his shop he put a placard. Placard is nothing but a handwritten notice. Okay, so he was saying wisdom for sale. So it was written as wisdom for sale. All around him were merchants who had large shops. Merchants are the sellers or vendors who sell their products, like they sold cloth, jewelry, fruits, vegetables and things that people brought every day. Okay, so there were few shops over there. Nagendra called out all kinds of wisdom for sale, reasonable prices. So he was shouting that wisdom is for sale and at a reasonable prices. So people who had come to buy things could not see anything in his shop, but could only hear the words he was shouting. So people who came near the town to buy any products or anything, so they saw nothing in his shop, only his voice were heard about to him. So they crowded around and laughed at him. No one bought even one piece of wisdom from him, but he was patient. So though there was nothing in his shop, people were very eager to come and see, and they used to laugh and they went off, but he was very patient at that time. So one day Babu, a rich merchant's son, happened to pass by and heard the wisdom seller hawking his wares. Hawking his wares means selling aloud. With a loud voice, he was saying, wisdom, wisdom of all kinds. So he was shouting as wisdom, wisdom of all kinds. He was a stupid boy. Who? Babu. Okay. So he didn't know what was really being sold. So he thought it was a vegetable or a thing he could hold in his hand. So he asked Nagendra what it could cost per kg. So he thought it may be a vegetable or a thing. So he was asking how much it cost per kg. So Nagendra said, I do not sell wisdom by weight. I sell it by quality. So he is saying that he is not selling it by weight. Okay, 1 kg, 2 kg. So he is not selling by weight. He is selling by its quality. Okay. Babu put down a nickel, so he put down one nickel, that is one coin, and asked Nagendra to give him a nickel's worth of wisdom. So he wanted for the nickel, which values for it, to give that much of wisdom. So the boy took out a piece of paper and wrote on it. So who? Nagendra took out a piece of paper and wrote on it, it is not wise to stand and watch two people fighting. So it has been written over there that you should not stand at a place where the two peoples were fighting. So and he asked Babu to keep it tied in his turban cloth. Turban is a material or a thing which has been tying at the top of the head. Babu went home and showed his father what he had bought. He said, I bought some wisdom for a nickel and I have it here. tied up inside this turban cloth. So he's saying that he bought wisdom for a nickel. The father untied the knot. That means he removed the knot. Look at the scrap of paper and read what was written on it. It is not wise to stand and watch two people fighting. So over in the paper it has been written this. So he was furious. Furious means he was very angry and he screamed at his son. Okay, he shouted at his son, "You fool, paying a nickel for this nonsense? Everyone knows you should not stand and watch two people fighting." Then he went to the marketplace. So he's saying that everyone knows that you should not stand when two people fighting. So then again, what happened? He took his son and he went to the marketplace and stormed into Nagendra's shop. Stormed means going fast, okay, and scolded him soundly. So he started to scold, "You scoundrel, you have cheated my son." Scoundrel means you foolish person, or he is a fool and you are a cheat. So he's saying that his son is a fool and Nagendra was a cheat. Return the nickel or else I will call the police. So he's saying that to return back his coin, otherwise he will call the police. Give me back my wisdom and you can have your money back. So he's Nagendra is saying that if you return back my wisdom, I will give the money back. So Gupta the merchant threw the scrap of paper at the boy and said, "There, now give me back my money." So he's saying, take down that paper and give me back my money. So Nagendra said, "No, you have not given me back my wisdom. You have only given return the paper. If you want your money back, you will have to sign a document saying that your son will never use my advice and that he will always stand and watch people fighting." So he is saying that he should not use his advice which has been given by Nagendra. Instead of that, he should stand and watch the people's fighting. So the passers by supported Nagendra. So Gupta readily signed the document and took his money. So he was happy that it has been easy to undo his son's foolish bargain. So he was happy. Who? The merchant. The Gupta was very happy that this has been solved it so easily. A few days passed. The king of that land had two queens who hated each other. So some days passed and there was a king of the land and he had two queens, and so did their maids. So the queens had their maids, the servants. They quarreled as bitterly as their mistresses. So as the queens quarreled between among themselves, as same the maids do. One day each queen sent her maid to the market. So the maids went to the same shop and both wanted to buy the same pumpkin. So they went to one shop and they wanted to buy the same pumpkin. So there was only one pumpkin. So they began to quarrel. Pumpkin is a vegetable. Okay. Their abuses and gestures were so fierce that the grocer fled that place. Abuses means the words which has been among the two maids. Gestures where is a movement of a part of a body, like moving your hand or a head. They will fight, right? So by hearing these sounds, the grocer means the person who sells the products, okay, the shopkeeper, he fled that place. So he went out from that place. Babu, who happened to be nearby, remembered his father's contract with Nagendra and went there to watch the quarrel. So the contract was he should go and stand and watch the fight, right? So he remembers those words of his father and he goes nearby the fight or the quarrel and start to see it. So the maids fought, tore each other's hair and came to blows. So they started to attack physically. One of the maids noticed the merchant's son and said, "You be my witness." She struck me. The other maid cried, "You have seen with your own eyes who struck whom. You are my witness." So she has hit me to so many times. So what happened? The son became the witness of both the maids now. Then they remembered other errands and went their ways. Errands means a short work or a short type of journey. So they went to do that. So the two maids went to their queens and told them about the quarrel, adding all sorts of colorful details. So they were adding extra full of masalas in that to say what the quarrel has been happened. The queens were now furious and sent complaints to the king. What happened? The queen were very furious. Furious means very angry, and they sent the complaint to the king. Each of them sent word to Babu that he was the witness on her side. So now Babu has made the witness among the two queens. If he didn't speak in support of her, she could have head chopped off. So Babu was in a panic. So if he didn't reply anything, his head will be chopped off, cut off. So Babu was in a panic. Panic means nervous or in a fear. Okay. When his father heard of this, he too was in a panic. So when the father came to know about this thing, even he was very panicked. Finally, the son said, "Let's go and ask Nagendra." So now they decided to come to Nagendra. He has wisdom to sell. Let's see what he has to say to get me out of this scrap. Scrap means get removed from this matter. So father and son went to Nagendra, who said he could help for the fee would be 500 rupees. Now he is going to charge 500 rupees for the wisdom. So Gupta paid him and the money, and the Nagendra said, "When they call you to court, pretend to be insane." Pretend means behave in an insane manner, means nothing but mentally ill type. Okay, behave as if you understood nothing and what they say. So he asked him to behave like a mental type, and if at all what they ask, just keep his mouth shut and nothing to say anything about it.